What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something a little different. I don't think I've ever done one of these. So today we're doing my top 10 horror movie remakes. Stay tuned. Alright guys, remakes. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're just not really necessary. Things like the Psycho remake, pretty much shot for shot. I believe there's some other, the Cabin Fever remake was basically shot for shot as well. Things like that just seem kind of unnecessary, just kind of updated version of the original. And then sometimes you have reimaginings of the original. Doesn't really follow the original at all, but is kind of inspired by it. Say like the recent Candyman, things like that. Yeah, so I have 10 of my favorites here. There are some honorable mentions as well, like House of Wax. I enjoyed that remake for what it was. Sorority Row, of course, the remake from House on Sorority Row, things like that. Other ones that aren't exactly remakes, like The Town That Dreaded Sundown, it acknowledges the original film, carries on from there. Things like that. There's a bunch of different Texas Chainsaw that go back to the original or go back to the second one, things like that, but aren't technically remakes. So, yeah. Let's just dive right into this. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about the films themselves. Most of you guys know of these films and things. Another one that I didn't put on here was I Spit on Your Grave. That's actually a really good remake as well. But I had to narrow it down to 10 titles just to make this simple. Yeah, I know I'm leaving out a bunch of other ones that are decent, and then of course you have your ones that aren't so good, like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, Prom Night, things like that. I may do a like top 5 worst remakes or something like that, just do like 5 of them, because there's not as many bad remakes as there is good, so, you know, that's at least saying something. But, yeah, I just figured I'd dive into a top 10 list and see what you guys think of these movies as well. So let's start with number 10. Night of the Living Dead from 1990. This is directed by Tom Savini and stays true to the original. It's not a shot for shot, but stays pretty true to the original. He had Romero's blessing on this and everything like that. And you have Tony Todd in here, you have Bill Moseley in here. So you have a great cast as well, and definitely amps up the gore of the original. I really enjoy this remake quite a bit. I know there's a lot of other fans of this as well. He definitely showed and paid a lot of respect to Romero during the production of this film. So yeah, number 10 is Night of the Living Dead from 1990. Number 9. There we go, 9. House on Haunted Hill from 1999. Of course, the original coming out in 1959 with Vincent Price. This updated version of this is definitely completely different than the original Vincent Price film. And really enjoy this one. This is one I'd always watch around Halloween time. Love the music in here, love the atmosphere in here. You have a great cast in here as well. And I always remember that opening scene with the elevator and things like that, and the roller coaster and all that stuff. Very entertaining film from start to finish, and very creepy as well with the doctor scenes and things like that, the nurses and stuff, where they would be watching the cameras and things. Yeah, very effective, lots of jump scares that actually work, and just, I love the feel of this movie. So again, number 9 is House on Haunted Hill from 1999. Number 8 is The Blob from 1988. Such a, I guess the best word to describe this movie is gooey. This movie is fucking gooey. Absolutely love this remake. It took me a long time to actually see this one. I didn't even see this one until right before Scream Factory put this out. I actually picked up the Umbrella releasing version of it, and thinking we'd never get a US Blu-ray, and then Scream Factory released it shortly after. But yeah, it took me quite some time to get around to this one, and I am glad I did, because this movie is absolutely fantastic. Of course, the original Blob still holds some acclaim today. There's still plenty of fans of that one. It's still a good movie on its own, but this one just definitely pushes it to the extreme, and really enjoy this one. So again, number 8 is The Blob from 1988. Number 7, Last House on the Left from 2009. And I'm going to use a word I'm going to use quite often in going forward, is this movie is just fucking brutal. This movie just really pushes things to the extreme, as well as the original did back when it came out. So yeah, this movie, I love, again, the way this one's shot, the atmosphere of this one, the dark grittiness of this, and for a major studio release, this thing is graphic as hell. And yeah, really enjoy this one. Just make sure you do watch the unrated version, and this is one that sticks true to the original, doesn't stray too far from the concept or anything like that. Definitely a lot different, but keeping the basic story and everything intact. So again, Last House on the Left from 2009 is in at number 7. Number 6, The Fly from 1986 with Jeff Goldblum. Going back to the word I used on the Blob, this movie is fucking gooey. This movie is gross. This movie is disturbing, and it still holds up very well today with the effects and everything. Love the remake of The Fly. Of course, the original, again, another one people still hold dear to their hearts and things like that, but the remake definitely pushes things to the extreme with the gore factor and everything. Great story as well, great acting. Everything is just perfect in this movie. So yeah, The Fly from 86 makes the number 6 spot. It was really hard for me to put numbers on these guys. I put numbers on them just because you have to have a top 10 list, even though I enjoy all of these about the same. So moving forward to number 5 is Dawn of the Dead from 2004. Of course, the original Dawn of the Dead from George Romero is just a classic. Everybody loves Dawn of the Dead, and Zack Snyder did a good job on the 2004 version. You got Ving Rhames in here and a bunch of other people, and a great cast all around. I love the look of this movie as well. I love the zombies in this, the story. You care about the characters, and it's just a fantastic remake. So Dawn of the Dead 2004 hits the number 5 spot. And at number 4, The Hills Have Eyes from 2006. Wow, this movie, again, going back to that word, I told you guys I was going to use this word a lot. This movie is brutal as fuck. I love this remake. Of course, again, the original with Michael Berryman, Wes Craven's Hills Have Eyes, just a classic, still a great film on its own, but this remake from 2006 definitely pushes it to the extreme again on this one, and it's just hard to watch at times for some people, but I really enjoy this one. It's just, again, fucking brutal. Hills Have Eyes 2006 at the number 4 spot. Number 3, My Bloody Valentine from 2009. Of course, the original coming out in 1981. I love both of these movies about the same. But great remake. Again, stays true to the original. Harry Warden, the miner, just a very iconic killer. Another movie that I wish would have had a sequel, but unfortunately we never got one. But we did get this awesome remake in 2009 and brought this film back to life, and definitely got more people going back to the original and things too. But another one that's just, again, fucking brutal. Of course, this did have like a 3D version as well. You can definitely tell the shots that were made for the 3D, but good story to it. Nothing too complex, pretty simple, straightforward story. But I love how he fucks with people, sending them the hearts and things like that. And the kills in here, you know, you get picks to the face and things. So awesome fucking remake. So again, my Bloody Valentine from 2009 takes the number 3 spot. And at number 2, this was a hard one between these two last ones here. It has to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003 at the number 2 spot. Love this movie. Again, going back to that word brutal, this movie is brutal as hell. And of course, you got R. Lee Ermey in here, who's always been a favorite of mine since Full Metal Jacket. Love his role in this. And you got Jessica Biel in here looking smoking hot. I love the way this movie is shot, the gritty feel to this, just the brutality of this movie in general. And I actually cared about the characters in here as well. Definitely paid a lot of tribute and homage to the original and did a fantastic job. This is definitely one of my all-time favorite remakes, hands down. I can watch this movie over and over again and never get tired of it. So Texas Chainsaw 2003 at the number 2 spot. And in at number 1, of course, this had to be number 1. One of the most renowned remakes, reboots, reimaginings, whatever you want to call it, is The Thing from 1982. John Carpenter's The Thing with Kurt Russell. This movie is almost flawless. It's shot beautifully. It looks great on all the new versions, the 4Ks, the Scream Factory, things like that. Just a fantastic looking film. You get that feel of claustrophobia, things like that, people not trusting each other, and you know, you never know who's gonna turn, things like that. And just a classic fucking movie. Of course, The Thing from Another World is what this was inspired from. And definitely a completely different movie, but kind of the same concept about, you know, the alien being and things like that. But both fantastic films as well. The Thing from Another World I watched not too long ago from Warner Archive. Really enjoyed that one. And yeah, The Thing from 1982 definitely has to take the number 1 spot. And it's a film that's just going to live on forever and gain more and more fans through time. I don't think this movie will ever be shelved, you know, never not see the light of day. This is just a lot of people's favorite film in general, not just remakes. I'm not going to say it's my favorite film of all time, but it is my favorite remake. This and Texas Chainsaw definitely ran neck and neck, though. But yeah, that's my top 10, guys. Let me know what your favorite remakes are down in the comment section. Let me know what you feel should have been on this list. This list was really hard to make. There are so many good remakes that I left off of here, ones I can't even think about off the top of my head right now. But yeah, some of these just hold a spot to me, like House on Haunted Hill. You know, that remake was just something I would watch every time around Halloween, and it just, you know, holds nostalgia for me as well. So that definitely plays a part for me. And, you know, seeing these movies at different times in your life and everything like that, that's why they're my favorite. Are they the best? Did I have them in order as best? You know, probably not. But for me, that's where these stand. So, as always, guys, peace, love, happiness to each and every one of you, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Later.